Realtors, are you currently concerned about the class action lawsuits all over the U.S. that are taking place and how it might affect your current or future real estate business? RE/MAX Results General Counsel Ed Kaiser recently hosted an event that almost 500 of the realtor community attended. We have a recording of this event where Ed did a deep dive, about 3 hours, into the history of the real estate industry and history of past legal action that has shaped the real estate market. And it's a good explanation of how we got to where we are today and what to expect in the future. If you'd like a copy of this recording, simply send an email to podcast@results.net.
Knowing what next life events they have coming and communicating those is huge, because if somebody's getting married, we obviously don't want them to be changing their name and doing all of that kind of stuff in the middle of an application. Mm-hmm. And if they're getting divorced, there's additional information and documentation that we need in order to get the loan. So knowing what's happening in the life events in your customer's life is big.
I'm here today with Nellie Dallman of Results Home Mortgage, VP of Business Operations, essentially running production behind the scenes.
Yes.
And you have recently stepped into a leadership role with Results Home Mortgage. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Tell our listeners a little bit about your background, yourself. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I started in banking, so at Wells Fargo when I was 18 years old.
You're like a bank teller?
Yes,
Really?
as a bank teller.
Okay.
So I started as a bank teller, and I was a bank teller for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then from there, I took a lead management position running the teller line.
Okay.
And I did that for just
After
about
6 months?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it.
and I ran the teller line for about a year. When I got bored with that, I moved into a banking, like being an actual banker. So I would be the one that would open checking accounts, sell personal loans, home equity accounts, all of the things. And after about a year of that, I really decided that I wanted to go back into management.
Okay.
So I went back and I became a branch manager, and I ran the entire bank. So I managed the tellers, I managed the customer service, and I managed all the bankers. So
Wow.
yeah.
Where
Wells
was
Fargo.
this?
So I started in St. Cloud.
In St. Cloud. Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say,
And when I
what
ended
city?
my career, I ended at Ridgedale in Minnetonka.
Okay.
Yeah. I did that, and I met a gentleman by the name of Ray Motz. He was a loan officer at the time, and I wanted to get into mortgage. I wanted to do something different outside of the bank. I started as his assistant, and I was assistant for him and 4 other loan officers
And this was still with Wells? Okay.
for about 5 years. And they taught me everything I know about mortgage. They taught me how to sell a mortgage, how to write a mortgage, how to put an application in the system, what works, what doesn't work, all the guidelines. And from there, I was kind of, okay, well, this is boring. Now what do I do? So I transitioned into the Wells Fargo Minneapolis campus as a closer. And I closed loans for Wells Fargo for about 7 months. And then my manager and her manager approached me one day and said, "We'd like you to be the closing manager. We'd like you to run this team."
I see a pattern.
Yeah. No pattern. So I did that for 7 years, 6 years.
Okay.
And then after that, I was approached by Lance Smith, who was the president of Results Mortgage, and he said, "I'd love you to come and run the operations. I'd love you to be here. I know everything you can do." I had worked with him previously at Wells Fargo, and he said,
Was there any hesitation?
"No,
Not at all.
no,
Yeah.
no." I had been 18 years with Wells,
Yeah.
and
It was time.
it was time. It was time to make a change. I had never, in my time at Wells in the operations center, I stepped up and helped manage like different parts of the processing world. I was a lot involved in the compliance and the risk and the overlays and those types of things. And when Lance said, "Do you want to do it?" I said, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
At that time, Results Mortgage was only about a year old.
Okay.
So just starting the company. And I came in, and within about 6 months, I had turned over the staff that was.
I remember Lance saying, "She's the missing link." She's the one, and it's been really fun ever since. And I wasn't kidding in the beginning. And when I was introducing you, that the loan officers, the sales team, as we call them, they just adore you. And a lot of them are here because of you. So thank you. It's been fun, and I'm excited about the future of Results Home Mortgage. Share a story with this is kind of maybe a get to know you, but what's been, give me 2 stories, a challenging event that you've maybe encountered and overcome, maybe helping a loan officer with a difficult file that you're really proud of, and maybe a story on one of your most gratifying days.
Helping a loan officer overcome. I would say the biggest thing that we struggle with is gaining the business from our RE/MAX agents, showing them that, we truly are here for you. We're here to help you and do all of the things. Most recently, we've ran into condos being an issue with the investors. Fannie and Freddie are very, very strict, they've changed a lot of their guidelines on what condos look like. So a lot of lenders out there right now are just denying condo loans.
Is this because of the cost in insurance?
The insurance cost. It also comes down to their budget.
Okay.
So how they allocate their budget, what they do with their budget. Fannie Mae requires a 10% to be put aside and allocated in certain places. And if it's not, then it's not a lendable condo.
Okay.
Most recently, we had a RE/MAX agent. Their loan was denied by another lender. They were about 2.5 weeks out from closing. We brought the loan in. We worked hand in hand with the association to help, how they allocate their stuff and get their, budget in line.
Essentially rewriting their HOA docs.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to encounter a lot more of this, I believe.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they don't understand, the HOAs don't understand that these things have to be there to protect the homeowner. That's why it is that way. It's not just because the investor had said we don't like it. Right. It's truly because you can't have a homeowner that, they're buying an association and there's not funds to cover things if things go wrong. We were 2 weeks out from closing. We worked with the association. We worked with our condo team, which I absolutely adore. They are Johnny on the spot to respond to us. We rewrote a lot of the stuff with the association, and we made the closing.
That's good.
So it goes to show we do know. We have, and our team is very experienced in condo. All of my processors, my underwriters, even our loan officers, they know what condo is all about.
Yeah, that's good. But this was a file that was denied with someone different, and you guys rescued. Okay, that's good. I hear stories of that all the time, actually. Yeah. Results Home Mortgage to the rescue. So
that's kind of how I feel. I feel like we're the ones that swoop in and make it all happen and put the pieces together. And
we are a mortgage banker. Yeah. We are not a broker.
Correct.
So as a direct lender, we
have the ability to bend and flex and do things that
need to
other
happen.
Lenders don't always have the ability to do.
Yep, that's good. Share a gratifying day, something, maybe it's not even a rescue situation, but
I think the most gratifying thing that I run into is when our loan officers have the ability to work with agents or new agents and show them, you want to close this in 22 days, we'll have it clear to close in 10.
When they win them over.
Yeah, when we win them over. So it takes a little bit, but when we finally win them over, we average, 28 days application to closing.
Yep.
A lot of our loans, we have clear to close by day 15.
Yep.
And I know that other lenders can do that, but we do it, and we do it seamlessly so that it doesn't impact the relationship with the customer, and the customer and agent and the loan officer are able to become one in a transaction.
And we have a close on time guarantee.
That's correct.
Where maybe we've in the 5-6 years have only missed it maybe once.
In the 5 years I've been here, I've only had to pay out the close on time guarantee one time.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So
we
that's fabulous.
We don't miss closings.
Yeah.
And we work with agents outside of RE/MAX as well. I mean, it's not just RE/MAX agents, but our RE/MAX agents, we kind of put on that pedestal. We know that, we're out there showing them exactly what we can do, and we want to win their business.
That's great. What's something else for our listeners that you want them to know about? Maybe something about mortgages that all our listeners should know, whether it's our product line.
Well, we offer every product that any other local bank lender offers, from your Fannie Mae, your Freddie Mac, your FHA, VA, USDA. We have non-QM products for business owners that make it easier to do that. We have jumbo products. There isn't anything. We do standalone home equity lines. We do reverse mortgage. There's not any product out there that we don't have to offer. And in looking at our rates are comparable or better. And being that we are the partner that we are, we have promotions that we can offer to RE/MAX agents and their customers that other lenders don't have to be able to offer.
Give me an example of one of those promotions.
One of the big ones I would say is our list and save. So if you list and you buy with a RE/MAX agent, they pay $100 in fees, period. That's it.
That's great.
And I mean, if you look at that overall, it's about a $1,250 savings for their customer.
On origination fees and for when they're purchasing their next. That's awesome.
Yeah. We also have our second look, which is a huge thing. We know that, a lot of times buyers are already pre-approved elsewhere. But give us a shot. Let us look at it. If we can beat it, they get a $100 gift card. If we can't beat it and they stay with their lender, they still get a $100 gift card. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are some common mortgage mishaps that you see and your advice to them? Give me a couple examples.
So a couple examples would be condo, obviously, is a big one. Knowing the difference between a condo and a PUD, knowing the difference between what is needed and what isn't needed. Documentation is great, but sometimes over-documenting makes things more challenging. So I always tell people, especially real estate agents, when you're working in that space, be it a condo or a PUD, take the time and work with your loan officer. Your loan officer is here to walk hand in hand with you through this process to make it easier for you and make it easier for your customer, and ultimately to make it a smoother closing. So take that time, utilize the resources that we have, and that's us. The other one I would say is knowing your property, knowing your customer. A lot of times, there's homes that are listed and they have defects. So they have peeling paint. They don't have hand railings. They have windows that are cracked or broken. And if you are trying to sell something like that, sometimes taking a little bit of time up front and fixing those things makes it a lot smoother down the line, especially if you get a government, FHA, VA, USDA offer on the property. All of those things will likely be called out by the appraiser for health and safety. And if they are called out by the appraiser, then you end up in a place where you have to fix them. And that takes time, and then we're going back and we have to have another appraisal, and that costs extra money, and all of the things that in a sense could have been prevented up front. So
that's my next question was common hiccups that you see in lending and how to avoid them. That's kind of the same thing.
It is, yeah.
Anything else?
I would say knowing your customer. It sounds cliche, if you will, to know your customer, but you would be surprised the number of customers we run across that are either getting married through buying a house or getting divorced through buying a house. Knowing what next life events they have coming and communicating those is huge, because if somebody's getting married, we obviously don't want them to be changing their name and doing all of that kind of stuff in the middle of an application. And if they're getting divorced, there's additional information and documentation that we need in order to get the loan complete. So knowing what's happening in the life events in your customer's life is big.
It surprises me that you encounter that. Realtors that do not know. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the future, what the future holds. I'm going to ask you some crystal ball questions.
Sure. I love the crystal ball.
We're in 2024 now. I think by the time this podcast episode is live, we're We're in Q1. And hopefully we're high-fiving each other and everything's all great. Interest rates are back in the sixes. What do you see as far as trends in mortgage and interest rates and lending?
I think the
Anything
rates
on
are
the
going
horizon?
they're going to level out.
Yeah.
We're not going to see twos and threes for rates.
No.
And if we do, it's 10, 12 years down the road. And honestly, I don't even know if then we will see them.
I keep telling people that we're never going to see that again in
Yeah.
our lifetime, but
Not in our lifetime. Maybe our children or our
I'm
grandchildren's
exaggerating.
life. Yeah, but I don't know that I will ever see a 2 in front of an interest rate again. It was kind of a specialty thing is kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
We always said the rates are going up, and they'd go down, and we're like, what's going on? Like the rates are supposed to be going up right now. So I do believe they are going to level out. I think we may see them, sit at that 6.
and it should stay there for.
Yeah.
I mean, it should normalize at 6.
Yeah.
For a while.
I think we'll also see, as things start to level out and normalize, we'll see the investors kind of letting loose on some things that they've kind of tightened up on. Obviously, investors tighten up on things when the market's not great, right? They need to make sure that everything is in line. But as the market kind of loosens up and things start to normalize, you start to see the investors going, okay, yeah, we don't really need to be overcautious on this, or we don't really need to.
You're talking about the investors that are buying these products.
Yes.
The
So your
mortgage-backed-
Fannie, Freddie, your
Yes.
mortgage back. So your, your VA investor, your,
Yep.
Fannie and Freddie kind of start to normalize again instead of having all uptight about, well, we got to make sure this is this way, and
easing up on some of the
easing up on them,
Yep.
making it easier to do a mortgage than it is today. And I honestly don't think it's hard to do a mortgage today. It's a lot easier to do a mortgage today than it was when we were in the heart of COVID. There was a lot of challenges that were constantly thrown our way when we were in the heart of COVID.
Yeah.
Many changes. But now, I mean, we've already seen, Fannie and Freddie loosen up on some of their guidelines.
Yep.
And I think that's going to continue to happen. I believe that as the rates start to fall or level out, we'll see the inventory kind of loosen up as well, because obviously people that are sitting in their houses right now, they have a rate of 2 or 3, and they're like, I don't want an 8% rate.
Right.
But
It'll
if
eventually.
they come down, you'll kind of see the inventory move. Plus, I know builders are building like crazy right now.
Yep.
New construction is a big thing, and the new millennials will look to that.
What are some goals that you have for Results Home Mortgage Company as a whole? What would you like to see?
I want to see us continue to grow. I want to see us continue to be in front of our agents. I would love more than anything to see the agents give us more of an opportunity than they do today, and see us as a partner that's here to help and support them and their customer. Not always easy. Change isn't easy, but I think that in time we'll continue to be able to prove ourselves.
Yes.
And it'll happen.
And we're always hiring loan officers.
We are always hiring loan officers.
So
Loan officers are welcome whenever they want. Just reach out to me. And if you know anybody that's a loan officer looking for a job,
we do have 50 offices, and there's not necessarily a mortgage presence in every one of them. We need to grow that. So our listeners, are either loan officers, lenders, or realtors that, work with them. And why should they come work for Results Home Mortgage?
the biggest difference I would say is we are not just a lender. We're not just a mortgage company. We truly are a family. We all look out for each other. We have, like you said, a lot of offices, and several that don't have loan officers in them today.
Yeah.
And our loan officers that we have today are amazing. They divide, they conquer, they help each other. But more so than that, we have a team that truly does care. They care about what they do. They live and breathe mortgage. They work in this community. My fulfillment team, processors, closers, underwriters, they are all tenured of at least 12 to 14 years in their career.
Yep.
They know the business. They want to succeed. And everybody that I have working for the company today is putting their best foot forward to be the best that they can for our sales executives. So, and that's the other piece, right? How do you get to be so lucky to sit in an office with such great sales executives and build that relationship?
Right.
There's not many lenders out there that you have the ability to sit side by side with a group of sales executives and learn. You get to build the relationship. You learn about their life. You get to work with their customers. It's a long-term relationship. It's a family.
And some of the highest producing sales executives in the country.
Right.
So that's an added bonus.
I always say it should say Results Home Mortgage Family because truly we are a family. Like, everybody looks out for each other. At the end of the day, our sales executive, like John has always said, is our customer. And our customer is our customer as well. So we put them all very at the highest pedestal to make.
You meant to say the loan officer is also the customer. Yes, that's what you meant to say.
Yes, our loan officer, our sales executive, our clients,
our customers.
We're all our customers.
Absolutely.
And making sure that, we're going above and beyond to exceed any expectation that they would have of us.
Yeah. Outside of running a big mortgage company, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do?
Well, I have a son who's 20.
Okay.
And a granddaughter who's 2. And I love being with them. I love every opportunity that I get to spend time with them and see her grow. I enjoy shopping. Imagine that, right? I really am just kind of, your day to day.
You and Mary Graw. I just can't picture you as a grandmother.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I'm like, you're a grandma? I'm like, yeah, I am. And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you don't look like you.
No, you don't.
I'm like, well, it's true, I swear.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful working with you, and I'm very excited about the future.
Me too. I'm excited.
Awesome.